Hey everyone, before the video starts, I just want to welcome you to the first episode of College Basketball Gurus. I'm your host, Patrick Freeman, and I will be joined by my co-hosts, Alex Caravan and Nick Alcock. First off, I just want to say we're absolutely pumped to get this thing started. Now, full transparency, I am a complete rookie at this, and I'm actually looking for a producer to kind of help us kind of upload and work through some of the hiccups that occur in this with the audio and the video. So just be patient, all right? And I am just trying to figure out how to not sound like a robot half the time. But trust me, we're learning and every episode is going to improve, all right? So hang in there and give us your feedback so we promise to keep leveling up the quality and the content that we produce. All right, so today we're going to be diving into college basketball, our Final Four picks, tournament dynamics, and then a fun little start, bench, and cut. So without further ado, let's get right into it. I am finally doing a podcast. This is going to be called the College Basketball Gurus. I am here with two of my longtime friends. Their backgrounds speak for themselves. We got Nick. He is soon to be a graduate from the prestigious Williams College. He is a smarty pants. He has a bachelor's in economics and a focus in sports. He is one of the smartest people in any room he'll enter. He is extremely analytically driven, and in my opinion, he is a professional sports bettor. He boasts a positive net earnings, right? It's hard to do. This other guy, he really doesn't need much of an introduction. Two-time national champ, absolute basketball genius, Mr. Caravan. So, welcome, fellas, and I just want us to break down our brackets to begin. So one game from the first round that kind of caught our eyes. So Nick, we'll start with you.
I would definitely go with the Drake Missouri game. I think that's probably one that most people are gonna have. I mean, either that or McNeese is like the two double-digit seeds that actually ended up getting a win. But you always hear about, like, prior to March Madness about, like, these sleeper teams and, you know, people are like, oh, High Point's going to get a win and all this stuff. But watching that Drake game, it really was like the tortoise and the hare. Like, Drake was slow as hell, and they were, like, really shut down a really good Missouri team. Like, Missouri was a great team all year. And Drake was able to just slow the game down and limit the number of possessions, which gave them really the best chance of all time. And then Bennett Stins is just that guy. So that would be the game that I think I was shocked at watching them play for the first time. They were a great team. And actually, after that game, ended up thinking that they might have been able to get Tech.
Really should have
because of how many times they're able to slow the game down. But yeah, that's definitely one that I remember.
Champ?
I was going to go with the Kansas-Arkansas game. It obviously headlined as probably the best matchup for the first round, and two Hall of Fame coaches going at it. But it was more so, there was a lot of SEC talk heading into the tournament, how it was the best conference, and people really want to see how the SEC would do. And I mean, obviously with Arkansas winning and Ole Miss proving their point as well, but more so Arkansas just kind of being in the middle of the SEC and able to pull off a win against a top Big 12 team. So I thought it was a good headline.
Yeah, that was definitely a big game leading up to the Pitino meeting there. But for me, I think it was Louisville and Creighton. For the last, I want to say 5 years, have the first game curse. I have never selected the first game correct. I don't get it. But that game really bothered me for a couple reasons, right? So Louisville, obviously coming in, should not have been an 8 seed in my opinion. Pat Kelsey certainly made that known. And secondly, it was in Louisville, right? It's in Kentucky. So Louisville just laid an egg, to be honest with you. But Creighton, very well coached. McDermott got those guys ready to play and actually had my favorite press break of the season in that game. Nice little touchdown to Jemiah Neal for the dunk to end the game there. But again, I thought Creighton also could have then handled Auburn, but didn't go that way. So the next thing that I want to touch on here is some of our Final Four picks and how we did with that. So for me, I had Auburn, Alabama, Houston, and then the West is tough. It was a tough region to pick, but I ended up going with Florida. Actually, sorry, I went with St. John's, and that did not go as planned. But let's hear Nick's Final Four selections.
Yeah, I debated my Final Four for like ages and ages and ages. Took Houston, I think, number 1 ranked defense. I didn't really think there was a team that could really touch them. Maybe Gonzaga in that second round game, and it was a close game, so it was deemed I was correct in that being a game that could have maybe taken them down. But had Houston, had Auburn, not because I thought Auburn was like particularly amazing, but mostly just because I didn't think teams that were in their path really matched up didn't really match up well with them. And then I took Bama over Duke, which I would like to think that Bama would have been able to beat Duke if they shot anything remotely close to how they shot in the BYU game. And then I took Texas Tech in the West. Sorry, Alex. I had Tech over in the Final Four and really thought they were going to have it until they choked that one against Florida. So I was 2 for 4, maybe 3 for 4 if Tech could have pulled it out. But
it's 2 for
dude,
4
they
if the
had
team
a
doesn't win.
90%. They were like up 18.
Doesn't count. Does it count on the bracket? Nope.
I was so mad.
All right.
Mine, I had Houston. I thought their path looked really well, and obviously their defense, their toughness. They had been healthy all year. I'd always thought that hurt them in the years past, just with unluckiness. So I liked Houston there. I had Bama over Duke. I thought both teams are really good. I didn't expect Duke to look this good during March Madness with their youth. So I thought the Bama Final Four experience would help them over the top. I had Auburn up top, kind of what Nick said. Their matchups, they looked really nice. I mean, I didn't think any team could really stop them in that region. And then for obvious reasons, I had UConn, the Final Four. As a player, you always want to have belief in yourself and belief in the team and confidence. And we had a couple guys on that team that have won it before, and then me, Haas, and Sam that have won 2 of them. So when you have that experience and you have the best coach in the country, anything could happen. So I always got belief in my guys, and we came up a little short.
That probably, to me, was one of the best performances of the tournament. Not just because of what you've been through this year, but I think what everyone expected, right? I think Florida was the second most picked team in the entire bracket. But I wanted to touch a little bit about the dynamics of this tournament and kind of what the portal has ultimately done, okay? So if we look, there was not a single mid-major that survived past the round of 32 this year. And if we want to consider Arkansas a Cinderella, they were in the SEC this year, which was the best conference ever. And then the Elite Eight had 4 1 seeds and 3 2 seeds and a 3 seed. So kind of what has occurred with this portal, you think, that has impacted March Madness? And is there a way to, quote unquote, fix this? Or are we always going to kind of run into this now in the future where the best teams are playing each other? Which is not a bad thing, I don't think. But anything on that?
I don't think you could fix it. I think NIL, the only way to fix this is with the rules of NIL. I really don't. Like, once you make rules on NIL and what schools can do, then that's how you're going to fix it. But other than that, it's kind of, basketball's kind of changed where kids care more about socials, kids care more about the money. I think that's just what attracts them more. And I mean, people are mad about this year's Final Four being 1 seeds, but they were also mad when UConn in 23 won, when it was 4 seeds and 5 seeds only, and brands like San Diego State, FAU, mid-majors that, you want to see those Cinderella runs. So they were mad about that. So I don't really know how to fix it. I think people are always going to have something to say.
I agree. I think that people will always have something to say. I think that that's just kind of like everything's so hyper-focused now that you're always going to have people like complain one way or the other. Even like, I think with like Twitter and everything like that, like the more things that are out there. I think the more times people are just going to complain. I would like to think that it's fixable. Mostly just because, like Pat was saying, like in the Elite Eight, you had every favorite win. And then in the Sweet 16, I'm pretty sure every favorite won as well. So I don't know. Something about that doesn't really sit right with me. I actually had this conversation with my friends at school if this was an anomaly or if this is like just like regression to the mean. I would like to think that it can be fixed. I'm thinking that like if you had a commissioner or something like that like leads college basketball now, similar to like what Adam Silver does in the NBA, like yeah, it takes the amateurism out of the sport, but the amateurism's already gone. Like once you start paying these people millions of dollars, like the amateurism is gone at that rate. So I don't think that having a commissioner that would be able to set limits on how much a team can spend in a given off season for NIL, kind of like a salary cap, you want to call it like that. Like I think that would be a way that you could fix it, but I do agree with what Alex is saying. Like if you don't put any regulations on it, teams like Kentucky last year can go into the season with 0 players and then just use the portal to fill out their teams and end up being Sweet 16 California. So I don't know. I think you do have to put some sort of regulation on it, but it is what it is for the moment.
But back to, so there's 2 things I'm taking away from that. The first, what Alex said with back to 2023, we literally 2 years ago had a situation where not a single blue blood, I mean, if we want to consider UConn a blue blood, but barely any blue bloods in the Final Four. And now 2 years removed from that, even last year, I think kind of was another anomaly having the 2 best teams play against each other in the championship. But literally, we're 2 years removed from a Final Four where we had a 9 seed, a 5 seed, a 4 seed, and a 7, I want to say. Miami was a 7. So Miami was a 4?
4, 5, 4, no.
Oh, yeah, because they had a decent squad that year with Wong and Miller and all them. But the other thing with the commissioner, I think that is something also interesting too, because right now you have the NCAA and you have a president of the NCAA, Charlie Baker, obviously, but his focus is on the legality of the NCAA. He's not focused on a specific sport. So I think we need to delegate people into specific sports. And obviously the conferences have commissioners, so that's kind of already in place. But there needs to be a commissioner of college basketball. I think that's a great idea that we should look at. But another thing with the portal that I kind of want to talk about. So the portal was created in 2018. It was obviously served as kind of like the database to facilitate the transfer process for student athletes. The problem has become, right, in 2022, we had 1,600 players enter the portal, which was a slight decrease from about 1,500 in 2021. In 2022, 84% of these players were on athletic scholarships. So what does that mean? Division I and Division II players only are in the portal. The second thing with that is that only 68% of those players, 1,100, successfully transferred to another school, right? So yeah, it's above 50%, but what happened to those other 32% that entered the portal and didn't end up with anything? So you have the negative side there. But the thing that really is scary, we go from 2022 with 1,600 total, right? We're in 2025 alone, 1,700 have already entered. That's a scary, scary kind of dynamic when the portal is still open for another, I want to say 30-ish days. So way too many people are entering this portal, and it's kind of watering down, I think, some of the talent that we're seeing. Like in 2022, the people that were entering the portal weren't going for NIL purposes. Now we're seeing people enter the portal strictly for NIL purposes. So that needs to certainly be addressed, I think. But again, at the end,
I mean, it's also the high school kids too. Think about it. These high school schools now are just saying, screw the high school kids. I'm going to recruit portal kids only. And now you see high school kids that are really good players, whether they're under-recruited or what, go mid-major, they kill, and then go portal. So it's like it's affecting the kids.
That's another interesting point, because I think NIL is ultimately going to reach the high schools, right? We're seeing what happened with the Montverde coach in Florida. NIL is not kind of, and has not been enacted into law yet. So he, besides I'm not going to coach at Montverde anymore. He decides to go to North Carolina, where in that state it is allowed for high schoolers. So that's another issue that we're running into here is like we're kind of bubbling out high schoolers. Like high schoolers kind of are at the biggest disadvantage here, I think. They don't really have unless you're a surefire McDonald's All-American, seeing NIL money is not going to happen to you. But any other comments kind of on the portal and stuff like that?
I mean, high schoolers, yeah, but then now it's like freshmen too that come out of high school. Like, it's tougher now unless you're like a one and done or, you're someone that could impact right away. You're most likely going to be a freshman that sits and needs to develop. But, with how the portal is now, players don't want to develop as much and they just find a way to go. And that's just why you see more and more freshmen go each year. And, at times you can't really fault them because they want to play. But at the same time, you've seen so many great players throughout the years just develop and really stay within the system that become stars when it's their
Exactly. What he just said is exactly what should happen in college basketball, and we've gone away from it since the one and done rule, right? Like imagine what these teams would look like if we had 3 years worth of a one and done player. Just imagine. And I hope that will come back where we decide that we're going to develop. We're seeing it more and more with some of these upper echelon programs, Marquette's, even the UConns, where these players are just staying and developing, and they're reaping the benefits of that, ultimately getting drafted, ultimately getting the recognition that they deserve. So
I also wonder how much of that has to do with like Alex is hitting on like a culture type of thing where like kids now like don't want to develop. Like I think of like Peyton Pritchard at Oregon, like for 2 years didn't really do much. Junior year came in, played, like got a bunch of minutes. Senior year blew up, got drafted, and is now 6th man of the year for the Celtics. Like I get that type of mindset. I also think of like wonder how much of it's like if kids think about it as like going out on loan, like in soccer, like if you like United can say like, oh, I'm going to send you to the second league in France. You're going to be able to play a bunch and then you can come back. Like, I wonder, and I have no way of knowing. I mean, Alex, I don't think you even have any way of knowing if like coaches are saying like, oh, you go into the portal, you mid-major, you develop there, then you come back here. Like, I don't know. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm wondering if how much of that's going on, and if the solution could be like what they do in college football, where you're not allowed to declare for the draft until after your sophomore season. Like if that would help in any way, or if it's just, I don't know.
That's tough though with one and done. It's like if you're a one and done, you got to go.
And if you're a one and done type of thing. It's not really a question. I think what this ultimately leads to though is contracts, right? Like if we're not putting anything in writing and we're just allowing kids to go to compliance, enter their name in the portal and go, what's stopping them from doing that? Like it's a pretty stupid thing that we're doing here where it's like, okay, we don't want kids to transfer, but it's so easy to do so. So that's the first step, I believe, is kind of implementing some more contract stuff. But the next thing that I wanted to touch on, if I can find my notes here, is a little something called start, bench, and cut. So this is going to be a UConn start, bench, and cut. So I have a couple of names here that I'm going to give out, and you're going to have to start, bench, or cut. Okay? Whew. Got to get my thinking cap on here. But we got Rudy Gay, Ray Allen, or Ben Gordon.
Oh.
Hell yeah, you're the only UConner here.
I was going to say, you go first.
Oh, damn. Start Ray, bench Rudy, cut Ben Gordon. Ben Gordon was a bucket though, and he helped lead to a chip. It's just Rudy.
Got some pros here, man.
Rudy was that guy too. They were all that guy. It was just. I mean, you got to start Ray.
I would start Ray. The Ben Gordon one would. Ben Gordon was tough.
Throw me.
He was tough.
But Rudy at 6'9", just what he did. He's a good player. He's a really good. They're all good players, but I'm benching Rudy.
Valid. Nick, what do you
I
got?
definitely start Ray. I mean, his number's retired. You can't really not start him, I think. The bet I would probably bench Rudy. I don't know though. Ben Gordon was so good. I would probably. I'm mixing it up. I'd bench Ben Gordon. I'd cut.
Had to start it out tough there. I really stumped you guys. But now we're gonna go with some bigger fellas. Okay, we're gonna go with Emeka Okafor, Hasheem the Beat, or Andre Drummond.
Mecca Okafor, Hasheem the Beat.
Yeah, I was gonna
you
say.
gotta start a Mecca. You gotta start a Mecca.
But Andre, I mean,
it's a tough spot.
you got 7'3" versus 6'11".
Yeah. I'm a bench Drummond. I'm a cut Hasheem.
I was gonna go the opposite.
Proud.
Was Drum? Yeah,
I don't
that's
know who
what
was
I'm
better in
thinking.
college, though. I don't really remember Hasheem the Beat in college.
I think he won Defensive Player of the Year one year.
What year was he?
He was
I'm
like
trying to make sure I'm
02,
not getting,
03.
like-
No,
He was drafted in 09.
I'm bugging. Yeah, I was thinking of Mecca. That's what I was thinking of.
Okay, so do
Yeah,
we,
I'm going
Nick, you got that one?
Bench Drummond.
Sure, yeah.
You guys are copying each other? That's nice.
No, I say it first. So it's
Okay.
Let me give one to the two of you. I'll go
All right.
as Boatwright Walker.
I'm starting Shabazz, benching Kemba, cutting Boatwright.
I was gonna say
Kemba
you can't
starting.
not start Kemba.
What you mean?
Shabazz off the bench. Sorry,
It's not
Boatwright.
Jeez.
I don't like overseas player. No, I'm kidding.
Shabazz got 2 natties.
That's true, actually. But Kemba also has the coldest step back in history.
Yeah, that was nice.
Okay, Nick, you got another one for us?
Oh, I got one.
Oh God, here we go.
Yeah, I'm not answering this one. I got Emeka, Adama, or
You
Donovan.
can't use people we've already
No,
used, bro. Come on.
It's three different.
No, but that's like
Who do you
3
got? What is it?
centers.
Emeka, Adama,
Okay, fine. Ooh, that's actually tough.
And then the Nick for the one that you done, you should have put Tristan Newton in.
Hmm.
Oh,
I saw something today that actually really pissed me off.
Tristan.
Well, no disrespect to Boatwright. Boatwright was still like that.
I just want to comment on something I saw on ESPN. So ESPN decided that they were going to post something today that said, "Will Janai Broom be the greatest transfer to ever play in college basketball?" And I thought to myself, has he ever won anything? No SECs, no NCAAs. He's got one Elite Eight. Maybe someone named Tristan Newton could have a word with him. 2-time national champ, 2-time Big East champ. I don't know, most outstanding player. Just a thought, but no, ESPN prefers narratives over winning.
That was OD.
Just had to say that real
Tristan
quick.
Newton's the best transfer, but I might be biased in saying that.
Dude, back to Alex's 3. I have absolutely no idea. I'm gonna start.
Right?
They all
Because they all won,
I'm gonna
right?
Start Dama. You can't bench Donovan though.
Well, you can because he
I
came off
can't
the
cut
bench on the
Donovan,
first
like-
national championship.
Emeka
I
won
was gonna
National
go. I
Player
was
of the
gonna
Year,
go
too.
Dama,
Ooh.
Emeka, Adama, Emeka, Donovan. but it just feels weird cutting DC. But that would be my
I
three.
guess you gotta do what you gotta do.
It's a tough one.
I needed to see Adama in more. Actually, he was most outstanding player.
He
So
was so good. He was so
Can't
good
really-
in 23.
can't really
He
say
was
much
so
about
good in
that.
23.
But DC, oh my God, without him,
Yeah,
what would that defense have
He's
been
the
like?
best
that's a great
interior
three,
defender
Alex.
last year.
That's a
That is a
that's
great three. But I think I'm gonna ultimately start the National Player of the Year. I think I'm gonna bring the defensive anchor off the bench and Adama, the second round pick.
Adama was so good.
He's getting
bro.
cut. He was. I said it. He was at most outstanding player.
Okay, Alex, we'll give you Paige,
Ooh.
Sue,
Mm.
or Maya.
Or Maya. And Brianna, she's a extra.
Extra?
Or
not
She's
sure.
either
bench
coach or assistant.
No. I'm starting both. I gotta start both Maya and Brianna. Those two were Brianna 4 for 4. Maya is insane. Cut and Page.
I'm trying not to show her this.
I'm benching Sue. Paige, like her individual accolades.
right, so if they win-
and
Tonight and then on Monday.
when
Sunday, right?
yeah, she's gonna be up there, but that's the one thing. It's just a title, but I mean, I just feel bad.
A title
means
means nothing, unfortunately, for the women's basketball program. Got to get multiple.
Yeah, but if you average 40,
It's
if
just
you average
injuries.
40,
I guarantee you, they would have won like
yeah,
two
that's what I'm
of them
saying.
by now. It was the injuries.
I mean, she should have won her freshman year, arguably, but.
Yeah.
All right, one more, and then we will wrap it up for today. I'm going to make this one interesting. We're going to go with Dan Hurley, Kamani Young,
What you mean?
or Luke Murray. No,
Not all of them. What?
no, I'm kidding. We will go with.
I got one if you want to.
This is interesting.
No,
Okay.
I was gonna go.
UConn in
I was
there?
gonna go.
Oh.
Okay,
I was gonna
fine.
go Cam, Steph. Who else could I do? Cam, Steph, Dre.
I don't like that.
That's they're all 1A, 1A,
I
1A.
don't like that.
Should we do a college or should we do an NBA one?
Anything. Move on
Anything?
from UConn.
Okay. Let's go with Tatum. KD. Or
Right now?
Jokic. All time.
Yo, Tatum
All
getting a
time?
snip.
Kind of a
Tatum's
weird
getting a
three,
snip.
not gonna lie.
If it's all, you say KD all time.
It's got to be
And
KD,
Jokic all time.
Tatum. But Jokic.
Yeah.
But does KD have
Jokic,
multiple
If he
MVPs?
wins four MVPs, that's so.
That's what I'm
tough.
saying.
What do you think the MVP should be this
If
year?
SGA wins, I'm riding.
What?
Bro, Pat.
What? Are you serious? I get his
61,
stats
10,
are
and 10 the other night.
ungodly. I get it. I get it.
10 and 10 is
So
crazy. I'm not.
I get it. Great. Individual statistics are fine. But the Thunder are 60 and 12. 60 and 12.
I saw.
Sorry.
Crazy.
My
I
bad.
don't
Even
know.
better.
If you
64
take
and 12.
SGA off that,
And
if
they've
you
been
take
hurt
SGA
all
off that
year.
team, I still think they get 45 wins, 40 to 45 wins. If you take Jokic off the Nuggets, I genuinely think they are in bottom
A
five
lottery
in the league.
team?
I think I think SGA should be the MVP, but Jokic is the best player.
I could get behind that.
I guess I could get
Get behind
that.
the most
I just
valuable
think
player goes to the best
I
player
think
on the best
Jokic is
team.
just so good.
No, what he's doing
Being so
is
good is great, but does that win you MVP?
He's having he's out a triple double too. That's the thing.
That's normal for him, unfortunately. That's the problem. It's like we're comparing him now to what he's already done. You got to do something you haven't done.
So
He's
is
kind
it
of already
like, so
averaged
you
a triple
think it's
double.
like LeBron effect?
61, 60. He had a game
Kinda.
this year, 30, 20, and 20. He got 2
He's
triple doubles
so
in one game.
good. Insane.
Yeah, unheard
Look,
of.
you're saying
Unheard
it's
of for
like LeBron-
sure. For
LeBron
sure.
effect, where it's like, okay, he's the best player in the world.
It
Can't
is.
give LeBron MVP every year.
It's like, show me something I haven't seen
Okay.
already. Like, lead the league in rebounding. Lead the league in assists. That I would consider.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that argument. Especially because
Or
there's
lead the league in
past
scoring.
precedent there. Like LeBron was like the best player in the world for 15 years.
And he led the league in categories. All right. Well, that was a good little debate to end here. But this was a pleasure to have you guys join me here. And I hope that we can continue this in the future. So thank you, boys. And that is all for today.